Hello and welcome to this little video on expanding brackets, but it's a little bit more difficult than the other ones we looked at in the previous video. So what I would suggest that if you haven't looked at that video yet, you should look at that video, and it's in the tab for expanding brackets. This is the expanding brackets more difficult ones. So if you haven't looked at the video for expanding brackets, you should look at that one first before you look at this one. Okay, let's assume you have looked at it, and let's try and do these slightly more difficult questions. Let's take a look at the first one. We looked in the last video at multiplying this term outside the brackets into the brackets by the first term and then by the second term. And we learned how to do that. In these questions, we have to do that twice because we have to do it again over here. So we'll have to multiply this in here and again by the second term. So there's almost twice the work to be done, but we can do it. Remember the steps? These are the steps. They're on the previous video. We looked at them a lot. 3 steps, starting off with sign by sign. Well, there's no sign here, so it means it's a plus, and there's no sign here, so it means that that's a plus. And a plus by a plus is of course a plus. Step 2, number by number. 3 by 4 is 12. Step 3, letter by letter. X by x is x squared. Okay, that's the first term multiplied into the bracket. Now let's do the second term. We'll do that in green. This one here. And we repeat the steps again. So step 1, sign by sign. So we have a plus by a minus this time. That's a minus. Remember, when the signs are different, it gives a minus. Step 2, number by number. 3 by 2 is 6. And then finally, step 3, letter by letter. So x by, there's no other letter, so it stays as x. Now that we've done that, we have to do it again to this little bracket over here. We have to multiply the term on the outside in. So let's do the first bit. Sign by sign. We're dealing with a plus by a, yeah, it's a plus, isn't it? If there's nothing written there, it's 2 pluses. And a plus by a plus is a plus. Step 2, number by number. 2 by 3, 6. Step 3, letter by letter. X by x is x squared. Now let's do the second number in the brackets, the second term. Start all over again. Sign by sign. Plus by a minus is a minus. Step 2, number by number. 2 by 1 is 2. And step 3, letter by letter. X by, well, there's no other letter, so it just stays as x. Now for these more difficult questions, there's a final step. There's a final step to our questions. There's another step. So we have to write what it is in here. We have to call it step 4. Now, taking a look at that, what we've done already, can you guess what step 4 is? Yeah, it's putting together the terms that are the same. So we have an x squared term there. It has an x squared in it. Are there any other terms with x squared in it? Is this with x squared? No. Aha, but this one is. So we can put those two terms together in a moment. We can add them together. What else? Let's get a different color highlighter for this. Maybe some pink? Yeah, do pink. We've got an x term with just an x, and also here. That has just got an x. So we can put those two terms together. Let's start with these two. Type into your calculator plus 12 plus 6, and you will get 18. But don't forget, we're talking about x squareds, so we have to write 18x squared. And that's the x squared bit done. Whoopsie daisy. Oh yeah, that's highlighter. That's okay. Is it? No, better rub that out. And get a highlighter for ourselves. There we go. Still not a highlighter. Highlighter. That's our x squared bit done. And now we have to do the x bit. So type into your calculator what you see. What do I see here? It's a minus 6. So minus 6 minus 2. What does that give me? It gives me minus 8. But don't forget to put on yourself the x. And that's that bit done. Let's get a highlighter now for that one. And that's my answer. My answer is 18x squared minus 8x. So what was that step that we just did? Because we better write it in. There's an extra step, and that's why it's more difficult. We have to put together like terms. Now what that means is the x squareds up here and here, they are like each other. So we can put the two of them together. And we got 18x squareds. And what else is like? These x's are like. They're like each other. So we can put them together. And we got minus 8x. That's the answer. So there was an extra little step to do. Okay, let's try this one and see how we get on in this one. And then you can try some and pause the video and see how you get on. So we have to multiply that 2x into the first number, and we also have to multiply it into the second number. Let's do the first one. Sign by sign, number by number, letter by letter. Sign by sign, number by number, letter by letter. X by nothing else is just an x. Now we have to repeat. This minus 3x has to multiply by the first term and then the second term. So what's the signs? Minus by a, yeah, it's a plus. And a minus by a plus gives me a minus. Remember to look over the previous videos if you're not sure. You'll find them in here, in expanding brackets. Now number by number. 3 by 2 is 6. And letter by letter, x by nothing else is just x. Next one, last one. Sign by sign, minus by a plus is a minus. Number by number, 9. Letter by letter, x by x is x squared. Okay, let's get our highlighter and see if we can find like terms. So, what do I have to begin with? I have 8x squared. Let's highlight that in green. 8x squared. Are there any other x squareds? No. No. Yes, there's an x squared down here. So I'll highlight that. I always make sure to highlight the sign that's in front as well. That's always useful. The sign that's in front of the number as well. Okay, let's get a different color highlighter now and see if we can find other like terms. We have an x here and we have x's here. So these two terms are alike. So I can highlight that one. And I can highlight this one. And see the way I highlight the sign that's in front as well? Okay. Now I get my calculator out. And I put them together. So what's plus 8 minus 9? If I type that into my calculator, I get minus 1. And I have to remember to put on the x squared at the end. And what's plus 2 minus 6? That gives me minus 4. And I have to remember to put the x on at the end. And that's my answer. Now, they're not easy, but you're going to try some now. So in a moment, I'm going to pause the video and try and do these two questions. It's just two to try. The steps are there. Don't forget step 4. You better put it in. Step 4, put together like terms. Your calculator can always help you with that one. Okay, press pause now and try question 1 in your copy or on a blank page, and try question 2 in your copy and on a blank page. And when you've got them done, play the video and see how you get on. Okay, I hope you gave those a go. Let's try and do them now. So this term that's outside the bracket, we have to multiply in and multiply in. And we also have to do it over here. Multiply in, multiply in. Sign by sign. Plus by a plus is a plus. Number by number. 4 by 2 is 8. Letter by letter. X by x is x squared. On to the second one. Plus by a plus is a plus. Number by number. 4 by 3 is 12. Letter by letter. X by nothing else is just x. Now let's do these ones. Sign by sign. What sign is there if there is no sign? It's a plus. What's a minus by a plus? It's a minus. Number by number. 2 by 5, 10. Letter by letter. X by x, x squared. And the last one. Minus by a plus is a minus. 2 by 2 is 4. And x by nothing else stays as x. Let's put our like terms together now. This is the final step. We have x squareds here and we have them here. But remember, highlight the sign in front as well. And what else do we have? We have x's here. Look at it there. But highlight the sign in front as well. And we have x's here. Highlight the sign in front as well. Let's get our calculator and put them together. Plus 8 minus 10 is minus 2. And what were we dealing with? The x squareds. Plus 12 minus 4 is plus 8x. That's the answer to that one. And number 2, let's multiply in, multiply in, multiply in, multiply in. Now we've done it already, so we've gotten this and we've highlighted them the right color, so the x squareds are here in yellow. And when you put those together, you get 44x squared. And when you put the x's together, you get minus 8x. So that's the answer to the second question. Now, if you got both of those right, you did very, very, very well. And indeed, if you even tried to do them, you did well. Okay, see you in the next video.